All right, Emmitt Smith, thanks for joining the Pick Six podcast. Talking to CBS Sports here, man. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How about you?
I mean, I can't complain. I'm not a three-time Super Bowl champion and the all-time leading rusher, not to mention a Super Bowl MVP and a Hall of Famer. But I got some things going for me. Hey, the Cowboys back in the playoffs.
Yeah, we are back in the playoff.
Do you know this story? Is like, I know that Jerry's told this several times. I know like Mike Silver, he said it to Mike Silver on NFL Network, but I don't know if you've ever like heard this one. Is it true? And if you maybe you haven't, but in '96, he swears that he prayed. He got down on his knees the night before the Super Bowl. And he prayed. He's like, "Hey, big guy, you give me this one Super Bowl, I'll never ask for another one again." Have you ever heard that? And or do you have any veracity of that?
Never heard it. This is the first time I've ever heard of it.
Oh no!
And I don't know how true it is. Maybe that's Jerry trying to make an excuse for not getting back to the Super Bowl in 20 years. But that's why I say, people ask me oftentimes, how many Super Bowls you think y'all would have won if Jimmy Johnson was still around? And I told him, I said, we won the number of Super Bowls we were supposed to win. If God wanted us to win more Super Bowls, we would have won more Super Bowls. So it wasn't in our cards to win more Super Bowls than 3. That's my team. Now, Jerry as an owner, he has to figure out what's his mission and what God has in store for him. So
it's right.
I don't believe Jerry went to God with that kind of deal.
it's a really bad bargain too. It's like, all right, look, just this third one. Like it's like, come on, you won 2, 3 in 5 or 6 years. The idea that the Cowboys are the most polarizing team. I mean, they're America's team. You guys made them America's team. Well, maybe they were America's team before, but you guys really made them America's team for another generation of people that is, still come sprinting in every Sunday for that standing room only. Does this Cowboys team have the look of a Super Bowl winner to you?
I can't see it as of yet. I really can't. I can see that they are very talented, but to be a Super Bowl contending team, I'm looking for the mentality of a Super Bowl contending team. And that is developed throughout the course of the year. Now, the team that's showing signs of being hot at the right moment is the Cincinnati Bengals, but they're not as talented as the Dallas Cowboys. So the Cowboys definitely have the potential to be that Super Bowl caliber team, but there's a lot of things that need to get cleaned up, and you don't clean those things up overnight. You clean those things up during the course of the season. And you finish the season the way you need to finish the season because you are demonstrating we're ready for the playoff. I don't feel that comfortable as of yet, but I do know we have the potential to do it. And I think our Cowboys going to have to go out and prove it now and build upon whatever momentum they're able to establish come Monday night and hopefully come away with a win. Because this is one game you in, one game you out.
It's a different mentality, right? When you get to the playoffs, seasons are judged, like careers are judged, and jobs are lost or won because of these single game eliminations.
No doubt, because that's why I say you can't just sit here and talk about, well, it's the playoff now. We're going to turn it on. We're going to bring the intensity. No, you had to have the intensity from start to finish. I mean, you got to develop the mental capacity and expand upon that mental capacity as you go throughout the season, because you're shedding off, you're blowing through layers and levels of experience and levels of discipline that creates this whole swath of discipline. You don't just play a regular season, so okay, now the regular season's over with, let's get into the playoff. I went through that to where our team was winning and we were already in the playoff. And Jimmy made sure that we did not slip and made sure that we stayed hungry by making us practice a certain way and focus a certain way and eliminate certain issues that we had. And that's what I look for in teams. And so I don't look for this yo-yo-ness here and this exciting moment here and this lack thereof exciting moment there. I look for the consistency of exciting moments on the offensive side, defensive side, and special team sides, because we're playing collective football together as a team. I'm feeding energy to my defense. My defense is feeding energy to me. Our special team is feeding energy to both of us. And we as a coaching staff is taking care of each other and making sure that we're not missing or calling one bad call throughout the entire game.
So to follow up on that, it is really hard to think about the Cowboys in the playoffs and Mike McCarthy and not think about the final play of the season last year, the quarterback draw where they just ran out of time. Do you think do you think Mike McCarthy is the type of coach that can get the Cowboys in the Super Bowl? Because not everybody's gonna be Jimmy Johnson. He's a Hall of Famer, like an incredible, intense, detail-oriented guy. I just sort of wonder, do you think Mike McCarthy's that guy to get them over the hump?
You said something about Jimmy that I did not mention. Detail-oriented. He was so detail-oriented. When we played the San Francisco 49ers in 92, 93 in the NFC Championship game out there in San Fran, you remember how wet it was.
Mm-hmm.
And how George Tomer had to come out and fix the football field. Jimmy was so in tune with everything. He went out early and walked the field. He walked the field and then came back and told Mike McCoy, change their cleats.
Wow.
Take them to longer spikes. And went to Norv Turner and told Norv Turner, if you're going to run the 5 route or any comeback route to Michael or to Avon or any of our wide receivers, make sure you run it on this side of the field. It has the solid footing and grass on this side of the field. The other side is a little bit damp. If you're going to toss Emmitt the sweep and do these things and you want him to make cuts, make sure he cuts it on this side of the field. Norv went back, adjusted the play calls and everything else to that specific moment. Now, I say that just to say that is detailed, that is focused, that is committed, that is bringing experience to your team and positioning your team to become champions. Now, with McCarthy, does he has the ability? I think he does. But he has to go within himself to understand what his limitations are and not impose his weaknesses upon the overall team and make sure that he's not playing within whatever weaknesses he may have. He understands his strength and he understands his weaknesses. So does every coach. But they also understand what the players can do and what they cannot do. So to be on your game, you have to do what is right for the entire team, not necessarily what is right for you individually as a coach. And players have to do the same thing.
Hey, that's fascinating because it's a game of inches, and like that's how you win with those details. You know what would have been helpful back in 92 and 93, or the 92 playoffs, I guess it was in 1993, with that sopping wet field. Some bounty paper towels would have been pretty helpful.
Without a doubt. Yeah. When you got a messy situation, you got to have bounties. You cannot have football without wings, and you can't have wings without bounty. So you got to have something to clean up that nasty mess that somebody's going to make. And for the last couple of weeks, we have turned the ball over big time with the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe the Cowboys need some bounty to clean up that mess.
You're not wrong. And look, I mean, it is true. I mean, like when I shop, I buy bounties. So like, I'm not saying this is like to prop it up. Cause like, if you go and buy bad paper towels, one, it won't clean up the mess. Two, you can't wipe your face with it because it scrapes it all up, even if you got a beard. But you get a bounty. You use a bounty when you're cleaning up after eating wings. And who doesn't love wings on a football Sunday? It takes care of all the mess, and it's the highest quality fabric.
Hey, you said it. I didn't.
Anything else we need to fill us in on the partnership?
Hey man, that's good.
I love it.
I appreciate you.
Hey man, that story is an all-timer. That tells you everything you need to know about Jimmy Johnson and why you guys won the way you did. Appreciate the time, Emmitt.
Thank you. Peace out.
All right. Thanks, buddy. See you, man.